What's up, you guys? This is Spillin' Tea with Chris G, and tonight we're going over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And whew, this is an explosive episode. So, I got my top five highlights of the evening, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop some real good hot tea for you guys. And there is a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. So for my first highlight, that's going to go to Tommie. Now, this situation is real crazy. There's a lot going on in this scene, so bear with me on this. But Tommie had told KK to come meet her at the dance location where Tommie takes ballet for therapeutic reasons. Now, Tommie was doing some shoulder bounce with it, so she had brought some hip hop to them little ballet shoes she had on, and she was getting it up on that dance floor. And basically, what Tommie was telling KK after her dance session was that, her and Stevie and Joseline was kind of getting into some things in LA. So KK was like, well, what are you talking about? And Tommie was like, well, I had met Stevie with Joseline at Stevie's house where he was staying, and we got topless and we got into the pool, and she told me to wear something sexy, and then we almost had a threesome, but then I told, Stevie, no, I'm gonna go because we're supposed to be family. So Tommie goes back to her hotel room. The next day, Stevie calls Tommie and says he wants to come down to Tommie's room, and he does. But according to her, she's saying that she was undressed and Stevie still came anyways. And then once Stevie got there, they were kind of discussing business, and he was talking about hey, he was the best in the game and yada yada, and trying to be the good guy. And he was trying to get with Tommie, but Tommie says she put him out the room. So the next thing she knows, the police are knocking at her door because after Stevie had left, Joseline had called Tommie and said, hey, what's going on? And Tommie was like, well, your husband just left my room. And that's when the police situation had came about, where someone had called and said there was a fugitive in Tommie's room. And of course, Tommie has had some run-ins with the law, and according to her, she is currently a fugitive and she can't travel to certain places. And KK was like, well, why did you get involved with this if you knew that's how they get down? You shouldn't have been up in the mix of all that. And I agree with KK. I mean, why would you get involved with them? But, Tommie is being Joseline's friend, so I think she kind of just didn't know really the extent of messy that Joseline can get and how petty she can really get, but she surely did show her petty side. So I don't know which side I'm on this one, because you don't know. Either Joseline had called the police, or maybe someone else called the police on Tommie, who knows. But anyways, on to my second highlight. Speaking of the good guy from my first highlight, Mimi and Stevie are back at it again with going at this child support situation. Now, Mimi has decided to go ahead and do child support against Stevie. Now, Stevie and Mimi have been co-parenting without any courts involved. But after all the lying and everything that's happened with Mimi and this Stevie and Joseline marriage situation, Mimi has decided to go ahead and move forward with child support. And of course, Stevie is mad about it because, they've been going together just fine. And he's like, I have an account set up for Eva if something happens to her. But, if you want to go ahead and move on with the business, we can do that. And basically, that's what they're going to do. So that should be quite interesting to see played out in the courts. On to my third highlight. It is not love lost for everyone. Tammy is helping Scrappy get the band back. Now, Lil Scrappy and Bambi from the last episode, they were at Tammy's fashion show. He had brought Bambi some flowers, and she kind of was like, listen, you need to make some changes in order for this to happen. And finally, Lil Scrappy and Tammy had sat down, and Tammy is like, listen, you need to go on ahead and put a ring up on it. You need to put a last name on it. You really need to show Bambi that you are serious. Flowers is just not enough, and she really wants to be taken seriously. Now, Tammy did tell Lil Scrappy that she was actually in the process of moving out of Waka Flocka's house and getting her own place, which was kind of like a small sad moment. But Tammy was like, listen, I'm gonna help you get the band back. I'm gonna show you what to do. You got to put your last name on it. Now, Lil Scrappy was hesitant because he's not afraid of marriage, but it still makes him a little nervous. But I think that Lil Scrappy is ready to get that old thing back. So, he gonna work on it. He gonna get it together. So now on to my fourth highlight. So Dime Piece and Karlie Redd, from the last episode, Lyfe Jennings had basically gave Karlie Redd a ring. So Dime Piece had said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take you to the jeweler, and we're going to see if this ring is real or not. So basically, why the hell did Karlie Redd fall out over a fake ring? Bruh. Bruh. What? The jeweler had confirmed that it was a ring, and Jessica Dime Piece gonna call it a middle of the mall ass ring. But I hope Karlie finds somebody, because you know what? Every season you shouldn't get played like this. This is ridiculous. On to my top 5 highlight of the night. So for tonight, Joseline has become a new puppet master, I think, of the whole entire show, with the cast included. Like, she is really puppeteering out here in these streets. But anyways, so she's doing a video shoot featuring Fly D'Antoni for a song called Rico. And let me play a little clip for you guys real quick here. That was a little clip of it. Again, these people, they're trying, okay? They're trying to get it together. She's been making music for a minute. I don't know if she writes these lyrics herself, but maybe she needs a ghostwriter. But getting back to the situation, so she had invited Tierra Becca to the video shoot. And Tierra Becca, of course, is Scrap's baby mama. And she came and she met up with Joseline. And it kind of took me by surprise a little bit, because I wasn't expecting for Tierra Becca to come to anything of Joseline's, especially after the whole party situation, this Jessica Dime Piece situation. So there's a lot that goes with it. But anyways, so Tierra Becca had came, and Joseline basically told Tierra Becca that Stevie J, Tommie, and her had a threesome. Now, Joseline wants to tell Tierra Becca so that way she can go back to Scrap and tell him about the situation. Since Joseline knows that Tommie loves Scrap and Scrap loves some Tommie. So, finally, Joseline does meet up with Tommie. They meet someplace, I don't know where it was at, but it was looking real fancy up in there. Joseline, of course, with her dramatic self, sitting up in this little king chair, and they were kind of talking back and forth, and Tommie was like, I know that you sent the police to my room. And Joseline was like, well, your room was inside the same hotel as mine, and I never called the police on you, but now I will. And that's what set Tommie off. So Tommie threw some sunglasses at Joseline. Joseline threw a drink at her, and they got into a physical altercation, and Tommie was escorted out of the building. Let me go ahead and spill some hot tea for you guys. So Tammy Rivera has a picture that is floating around of her stomach kind of sitting out a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's a food baby or a real baby, because she has not confirmed, but the blog sites are going crazy over it. Also, Tammy and Waka were on Periscope, which is a website where you have followers and video chat. And basically, it looks like they're back together. Now, Tammy was telling Waka that her followers didn't like Waka on her Periscope, but he was like, oh, well, they're just a bunch of lonely, bitter old females, and they looked real lovey-dovey. And I got a picture of Momma Dee, and she is looking casket sharp. Looks like she got her hair done, got some new clothes. Looks like she's did some things to her face, maybe some makeup or maybe a little surgery. I'm not really sure, but she is looking quite sharp and looking good. That is Spilling Tea with Chris G. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.